Power, speak a little louder.
If there was a pill
Hungry for that money, I'm coming to devour.
that could give you 5 minutes
Spit it so they get it. I'm embedded with the power.
of pure power,
I'm embedded with the power.
would you take it?
What will you do if you had the chance of having a superpower for 5 minutes? Well, I do a lot of things, but anyways, you get to find out what I'll do in this review I've got today of the movie Project Power. So do not go anywhere, sit back, relax, and listen. This is CINEVERSE, and I am still Bulu Atife with Newt. So what will you do if you had the chance to have a superpower for just 5 minutes? Well, I will do a lot of things, but first off, I will take the power of invisibility. I want to do anything and get away with it. Like a lot of people, but don't worry, I'm not going to mention names. So the movie we've got today is the Project Power, and it has a lot of people in it. We have Jamie Foxx, we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, we have Courtney B. Vance, and a couple of other people. So yes, this is really, how will I say, it's actually a basic superhero movie, but at the same time, it's not so basic. So let's go with the flow, and let's just say this movie was released August 14. Let's say it was set up in New Orleans, sort of. Okay, yes, it was set up in New Orleans. And believe me, the budget, like I read so far, is whooping $85 million. So I do not know how much they intend to gain at the end of the day, since cinemas are not open and it's on Netflix. But hey, they know how they make their money. All right, guys, let's go into the review proper now. This movie centers on a cop and a former soldier who tries to track down the origin of a new pill on the streets that gives people a blast of superhero powers for 5 minutes. Now, the good thing about this is not the cliche thing where you already know the kind of power you get or it's passed down by the DNA or genetics. No, you never know. You can have the power of Aquaman, you can have the power of Firestorm, you can have the power of just blowing into tiny pieces. You never can tell. So you could decide, you could actually die. You get? And it's quite expensive too. So that's basically it. Now it shows the life of Robbie with her mom. Yes, her mom is sick and she's trying to make ends meet, and somehow she ends up being a mini carrier for the drug, or should I say a dealer, mini dealer for the drug. And she got to do that through a cousin, Newt, who was also introduced to the drug when he first hit the streets. Now, skip 6 weeks, Art comes in contact with Newt, where Newt kind of OD'd in the process of overdosing on the Project Power pill. And yes, it blows up into tiny pieces and causes an explosion, and yeah, he dead. Moving on to the next, we also have the cop that is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Now, Joseph himself actually was using the drugs, but he was trying to level the playing field. You know, I'm a cop, and to catch the bad guys, I have to do a little bit of what the bad guys do to know how they think and how they act and all of that. Yeah, so that. And somehow a superior found out, and should I say they kind of sent him on a suicide mission, thinking he was going to die, but they didn't know the guy was actually so high. No, okay, I won't say he was high. He was actually using it a lot, so he knew what to use, what not to use, when to use it, and how much not to overdose, and even the time limit that he was going to use it for. So yes, that pretty much helped him along the line. Now let's talk about Art. Art is an ex-soldier who also used the drugs. Let's say it was experimented on, sort of, and by the time he left the army and all of that, his child also got a trace of his gift via DNA and whatsoever, and she got kidnapped. He's on a personal vendetta, hunting down the person who kidnapped her, and yada yada yada. Somehow the character develops. Now we're talking about another person now. Newt, one of the dealers that actually OD'd at the beginning of the movie, was actually played by Machine Gun Kelly. I did not know that at the point until I saw the cast. So yes, I think that's the first time I will see him in a movie. So putting it out there. Now let's talk about the dynamics between Joseph and Jamie Foxx. Now they had to work hand in hand somehow, but let's just say they didn't have the smoothest of relationships, and Robbie had to be the middleman, you know, the bridge connecting the two of them, because believe me, left with them, the good guy, bad guy, they don't see eye to eye. It's normal. Anyways, they decided to work together at the end of the day to bring down the bad guys, and in a very, should I say, unusual kind of friendship. Okay, I won't go as far as saying friendship, but I'll say partnership. They succeeded. Let's take a look at Robbie. Now, Robbie is a really young black girl. School is not really on her agenda, like I mentioned before. She had to take care of her mom, get bills and all of that, but somehow she came across Art, who kind of changed his perspective on how to handle a situation, or should I say the issue and the situation in which she finds herself in the society. So as much as he's a bad guy, actually gives sound advice. So, and finally, I'm going to drop down to the grand finale. So I kind of like the ending, okay? Let me talk about that, because around the ending, we're able to find out what Art's real power is, and it was the pistol shrimp. Like I said, human nuclear bomb, human nuclear weapon, human nuclear whatever you want to call it. And yes, I kind of liked how they made it look, the way his power worked at the end of the day. I did like it wasn't overly cliche. Now let's talk about the movie itself. Yeah, we got the plot, we got the storyline, the characters and all of that. But the movie itself kind of borrows elements from different kind of movies, from comic books, from superhero movies, yada yada yada. But there was no particular villain, and it felt like they were mostly battling an object, or should I say the pills, the drugs per se, were the main enemy. So there wasn't a big figurehead, a big Thanos or whatsoever. So yes, there was an enemy, but it was not really personified. Like, it wasn't really given a name or a person or a character. So yes, I did like that. It's not overly cliche. And number two, I'm looking at it that unlike other superhero movies, or should I say comic books, where they have a premise or a basis in which they are created, it's not like it's based on a book. It's not like it's based on a previous movie. It's like, although they borrowed elements, like I said, they're like fresh characters. You know, it's really interesting to see a superhero who has a burst of power for quite just a short period of time. So it's not long, but at the same time, it's really cool because you're like, okay, let's see if by the next dose, it'll keep up with that power or just blow into bits. So yeah. And generally, I would say there was a bit of character development. I like that. But at some point, I just will say it was so interesting, so entertaining. And it was actually kind of fast-paced. So even if there were places that were not really dope or had issues, you won't notice, yeah? Because let me tell you the truth, 1 hour, 54 minutes. I'm sorry, I got to a point, I was not even looking out for dialogue or anything. I just wanted to watch the movie because it was just good. So yes, I did like the movie. It's one, I'll say, if you decide you don't want to watch any usual superhero movie, you can decide to watch that. You can decide to watch it at home. Yeah, cinemas are out, yeah, whatever. You can decide to watch it at home, Netflix as usual. Well, is there hope for a sequel? With the way they ended the movie, I do not think there will be a sequel because it wasn't open-ended. They didn't give you room to say, oh yes, maybe they'll decide to go and start something. It was pretty much obvious that Joseph was going to, you know, give the information out to the public and the people. And also it was sure that Art had gotten his revenge, he has gotten his daughter, he was going to just go on the down low and won't remember anything about it. But there is hope for either a spin-off or series because I will be really interested to see that. I'd like to see where they go with this. They could decide to flesh out a bit more of the characters, of the storyline. And yes, they could be quite successful, maybe not as big as Marvel and the likes, but yes, I feel it would be really interesting to watch. So all in all, I would say the movie was good. I liked the movie, I liked the concept, I liked the characters, and yes, most importantly, Robbie, the girl who played Robbie, did an amazing job with the rap lines. I mean, come on, for you to be able to add up the acting, the rap, the attitude, yes, and the almost danger of nearly dying, of course, which she did not anyway, thanks to Art and Joseph. Yes, they were really good with that. Anyways, all in all, the movie was good. I'd really recommend it. I like basically everything about the movie. It wasn't up there like my 10 over 10s, but I know it falls between my range of 6.5. So yes, that's what I'll give it. I'll give it a 6.5, and I would like to hear what you guys think about it too. That is what I think. It's interesting enough. Well, let's know what you think. If you've watched it, I'd like to know what you think in the comment section. And if you haven't, try and do that so we'll know whether our opinions are the same thing or maybe I'm watching the back of television. Again. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for sticking around. Like I said, the movie is The Project Power. Go watch it. Let me know what you think. Till I come your way next time, guys, stick with us on Instagram at CameraBoy.tv, Facebook at CameraBoyOfficial, Twitter at CameraBoyTVAngel, and also like and subscribe to our videos on YouTube at CameraBoyTV. And also, you can hit me up on my personal page on Instagram at Swatife_ONI, same thing on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, guys, stay safe and stay tuned.
Oh, we were like Batman and Robin.
No, Batman and Robin, that's a movie. This is real life.
We doing this.